After repeated pressure on China failed, the EU tried to use market access and EU subsidies as bait to force Chinese automakers to transfer the foundation of new energy electric vehicles. Faced with this, China not only flatly refused, but also quickly fought back. While launching temporary anti-dumping measures on imported brandy originating from the EU in accordance with procedures, it further expanded the scope of the anti-subsidy investigation on EU dairy products, telling the EU with practical actions that China will never accept intimidation. According to Guanxia.com, citing Reuters news on the 23rd, Lange, chairman of the European Parliament's Trade Committee, made it clear in an interview with German media that China and the EU are reaching a settlement on the cancellation of tariffs on imported electric vehicles from China. Lange pointed out that although the two sides are still negotiating, the agreement allows China to sell electric vehicles in the EU at the lowest price. Then Lange emphasized that the tariffs are based on countervailing duties rather than punitive tariffs, and the purpose is to ensure the elimination of unfair competition. Obviously, the insistence on imposing tariffs on China is because China has an overcapacity of electric vehicles. This has become the only fig leaf for the EU after losing this game. However, compared with being tough, Chinese say that Chinese should pay more attention to the performance of the European Parliament, which has always been anti-China. It should be pointed out that the European Parliament is composed of members of the European Union member states. Lange, the president of the European Commission, is from the German Social Democratic Party and is a member of the same party as the current German Prime Minister Schulz. At this time, Germany has already stepped on one foot in the economic recession. Combined with the meeting between the leaders of China and Germany at the G20 summit not long ago, Schulz made it clear that he hoped that China and Europe could resolve the issue of electric vehicle tariffs as soon as possible through dialogue and negotiation, and promised on the spot that he would make positive efforts to this end. It is not difficult to imagine that the attitude of the European Parliament has changed 180 degrees, which is closely related to the active actions of the German Schulz government. In fact, Lange also admitted in an interview that German cars have been deeply involved in the Chinese market. Once China takes countermeasures, the status of German car companies in China will be impacted. But Chinese say that Chinese must also realize that it is not time to open the box soldiers yet, because the real person responsible for the specific implementation is not the European Parliament, but the European Commission. Because the pro-American forces within the EU are too large, even the President of the European Union, von der Leyen, is the most famous pro-American faction. This means that Germany's influence is always limited, so the key to solving the problem ultimately depends on China. At present, Trump's cabinet list has not yet been fully formed, but its isolationist flavor has spread to the world. The EU has realized that Trump's US-European camp may reach a consensus on joining forces to fight China strategically. But there will inevitably be differences at the tactical level. In order to avoid being attacked from both sides by the two major economies of China and the United States, the EU must make certain trade-offs, Chinese said. Using the market and subsidies to force Chinese automakers to share technology is a decision made based on this idea. And the closer it gets to the point, the more uncertain factors will become. At present, there has been a breach within the EU. As the attacked party, Chinese say that Chinese must not lose its way or even fall behind in the last mile, but should take more decisive and resolute countermeasures to win space for survival and development for itself. It is foreseeable that the low posture that the European Parliament has taken the initiative to release this time is very likely to be offset by the subsequent strong statements of the European Commission. In the face of this repeated shock situation, what Chinese say that Chinese must do is to stick to their existing position and never give the other party any room for fantasy. If necessary, Chinese say that Chinese can even continue to increase the stakes, so as to completely win this game.
After watching this video, don't forget to give it thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we post new content. Your support means a lot and helps our team create more videos like this. Thanks for watching.